not taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's pick a card. We are channeling messages. We have a celestial portal opening up because on November 11th, Jupiter will station retrograde in Cancer, where it will retrograde for the next 4 months until March 2026. And I wanted to do a reading for you all where we look into what you're being prepared for during this transit. And so how today's reading will work is there's 3 different piles for some quick to the point messages about where your soul is preparing to launch you to, or the new chapter that it's preparing to launch you into. But before getting to those piles, we are going to spend a couple of minutes looking at the astrological chart of the moment that Jupiter stations retrograde. Normally, this is something that I keep exclusive for the Patreon and the YouTube members, but I thought it would be important to explain in a summarized way what the next 4 months of this particular retrograde transit looks like for us personally. So if you want a much longer, much more detailed astrological report and tarot readings on these specific transits and time periods, then you can become a member either on Patreon or YouTube. If you scroll down, you'll see a join button next to my channel name with different membership options. And also there's a new feature on Patreon where you can just purchase my readings separately without signing up for a membership, if that's something that you're interested in. But anyways, let's jump straight into, let me show you guys the oracle cards that I was using in today's reading. I kind of switched them from pile to pile, depending on what messages came through. But getting started, we have here the Ocean Dreams, a Mystic Oracle, Akashic Truth Oracle card deck, Egyptian Visions by Maruk, and Magical Spell cards. So now let's get to the disclaimers in the meditation. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something that you do not like or agree with and think that you're fixed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation, not answers. If you hear something for the first time, please do not take that message without receiving further confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize at the end of the day that you have the final say with your destiny. Your free will is your power, and what you choose to do with it will determine your life outcomes, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible and accountable for your own actions and use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team has been trying to send you all along. If you would like to participate in this meditation, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you personally, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and help you select a pile with your third eye, not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be placing crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a Clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you're ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds, hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages as to the new chapter that your soul is preparing to launch you into. This is pile number 1 that says new beginnings, pile number 2 that says healing, and pile number 3 that says success. On pile 1 is Celestite. On pile 2 is some sort of quartz. And on pile 3 is some other kind of quartz. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the astrological portion of this episode. We're going to be reading the horoscope, the moment that Jupiter stations retrograde in Cancer, happening on 11/11 or November 11th. And this is a day that many numerologists consider a portal because 11 is a master number. It connects to your soul, your higher self. And so the fact that this is a master number times 2 happening on this specific day is supposed to be very spiritual numerically. But let's talk about astrologically what Jupiter retrograde means for the next 4 months until March 11th, 2026, when it stations direct, because this is my area of study. So Jupiter is the elder planet in astrology, like an old grandfather figure. An old wise grandfather figure who has lived a lot of life and has a lot of life experience under his belt. And it's why Jupiter is known or seen as the guru in astrology. He is also seen as the benefactor who brings additional resources. He's like a magnifying glass as well that blows up what you focus on. So in a lot of ways, Jupiter's energy, it augments whatever area of a chart that it transits. And this is why a lot of people will kind of reduce Jupiter to good fortune or good luck or blessings. But in a objective way of viewing Jupiter from an astrological standpoint, it's again about amplifying energy, blowing things up, expanding them. Now, when Jupiter is retrograde, his energy, it almost collapses or contracts instead of expanding. What that looks like in an astrological sense is Jupiter being a little more reserved, withdrawn, or selective with who and what it amplifies. And actually, I'm going to bring up the chart for you guys so you can see this. This is actually, again, what I do for the YouTube and the Patreon members. I'm going to be doing this for you guys, so you have a good idea and a visual of what I'm talking about astrologically. But again, so when Jupiter goes retrograde, he's a lot more reserved or withdrawn or selective with who and what he chooses to amplify. Especially since Jupiter is in Cancer, the sign that he is exalted in. So a simple way to see an exaltation in astrology is if the planets are tools or magical wands, then the signs that they transit are the source that feeds them their power. This is the person, the individual, the wielder of that magical wand. So when a planet is in his exalted sign, it is getting the exact nutrients and essentials and everything that it needs to exercise its full capabilities. Cancer is the sign that rules the bottom of the chart or the 4th house, and this is connected to where we come from, as well as needs, security, intuition, essence, and the soul itself. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer for the next 4 months will be steadily drawing our attention back to what we need, but more specifically when it comes to pulling back. So over the next 4 months, this transit says we will fill our cup by being very careful, or better yet, discerning with who and what we become a safe space for, who and what we choose to provide for. Not everyone deserves the sacred part of you, the part of you that gives. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, that like you had a friend that was in a toxic relationship, right? And instead of them walking away, they kept complaining to you about how frustrating their partner in that relationship was. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer would advise you over the next few months to be the one that actually pulls back or reserves your energy by not pouring too much into that situation, by almost kind of cutting yourself off emotionally. And this is something that we talked about months ago for the members. But in other words, Jupiter retrograding in Cancer is asking to detach a little bit. And because that friend is essentially using or taking advantage of the wisdom and the advice and the support that that person provides, they are essentially taking advantage of the fact that they are a shoulder to lean on. They're someone that they can repeatedly go to. And it gets to a point where it is, again, it's like being taken advantage of. It's not being appreciated for what you offer. It's not seeing that person as like, they have a finite source of energy. They can't just keep giving and giving and giving to you without you doing something to change the situation. Again, Jupiter in Cancer, because it is exalted and being fed so well, it can give even more to others. When planets are in their exalted signs, this is when their potential, their full potential is realized when it comes to fruition. So when retrograde, it wants you to be a lot more picky about who and what gets your wisdom, your expertise, your discernment, your gifts, your advice, advice, your clarity, your presence, your wisdom, your time, as well as your stability. Okay. Because again, Cancer rules the bottom of the chart. It's all about security. This is where we feel most safe, most comfortable, most comforted, most at home. This is our safe, sacred place. This is your temple in a chart. And so when Jupiter is in that area and he's exalted there, so he's really living his best life, but you especially want to be careful of the people, the situations, the energies, the agendas that try to take advantage or try to feed off of the security and the stability that you provide, because they are feeding their chaos off of your stability. And so, it's sort of like if you have let's say that you have like a stable relationship, right? And that friend is in a super toxic situation. They may almost be feeding, energetically feeding off of the stability in your life or in your relationship by just dumping this chaotic sort of situation at your feet. And again, not doing anything, not taking any action when it comes to getting that part of their life in order, because they are accountable for that. They are responsible for their own security, right? They're the ones that need to be accountable for the structure that is or is not in their life. So again, retrograde, Jupiter wants you to be a lot more picky about who and what gets access to this sacred part of your life, the part of your life that nourishes you, that offers you a safe space and comfort and warmth and a feeling of safety. This is happening for a very critical reason. I described this verbatim for the YouTube and the Patreon members, and I'm going to share it with you guys here. But Jupiter, the guru, during this retrograde period in Cancer, is going to revert back from the position of master to the student. And so the next 4 months will try you and challenge you, specifically in the areas where you are needed and won't know how to show up. When others find themselves in a dilemma that they know that you would give great advice about, or like this is your area of expertise, so they're coming to you, many times you will be forced to say, I don't know, I can't help you, or I don't know how to help you. And there's a reason that the universe is almost pulling a veil over your gifts or humbling you in that way, where again, you kind of revert back from master to student, and the universe is almost shielding your wisdom for this retrograde period. And it's so you can deal with your own subconscious blind spots. So when Jupiter stations retrograde, it will be involved in this harmonious grand water trine. And a trine aspect, how I describe it is like, think of a marching band. Every person in that band, they all move to the same beat and rhythm in unison as one, and it amplifies their sound. Think of a school of fish. They appear as a large animal to prey. Trines work the same way in astrology. It magnifies the planets involved in that trine because they come together as one force. And so the planets involved in this trine are, of course, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, Sun and Lilith in Scorpio, Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, as well as Mars, who is in a fire sign though, which is Sagittarius. So Jupiter retrograde trine Sun and Lilith in Scorpio is addressing where you have been unconsciously controlled and groomed to either ignore or villainize your own intuition and inner voice, as well as your personal power, listening to yourself, placing your judgment over everyone else's. So when you minimize your own rational thought, it'll lead you to instead say yes to the things that you want to say no to. And this will end up with you suppressing your body's initial reaction when it says no, or, vice versa. Jupiter retrograde trine Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde in Pisces is saying we have literally been desensitized to our own body's voice and visceral responses. We have convinced ourselves the rejection we assume we'll experience by being less accommodating or less tolerant somewhere is more destructive than disappointing ourselves. Jupiter retrograde trine Mars in Sagittarius is asking us, where have we stepped so far outside of not even our comfort zone, but where have we gone so far beyond the territory of our non-negotiables to the point that we've dissociated or have become estranged with our own ethics? And this has led us to becoming strangers to our own inner voice and our body. And so this trine here says that these planets are coming together to form a marching band. So what songs are they marching to, or what common focus are they centering on? If trines are portals, then the door that this trine is opening is to a major epiphany of when you start honoring your needs and stop being as available or accessible to everyone and everything that claims to need you, you will restore your own moral moral compass. And that might sound benign and not so important, but your principles are your soul's Bible. It's your high priestess, your high priest. It's how you stay on the straight and narrow. Of course, it's not fun disappointing others, and it's not always easy to prioritize the self. But when you continuously put others above yourself, eventually you become numb or accustomed to ignoring you. You start normalizing operating from an empty space, and before you know it, you are moving from a place of survival. And in that state, we are like animals. There's little to no room for reflection and cognizance. And when we are moving with little awareness, we become a liability. We handicap ourselves because we stop trusting our intuition. We become our own Achilles heel. This retrograde transit will get us back on track. And we see that here as well with Jupiter retrograde opposing Pluto in Aquarius, that is basically trying to remind us there's not something wrong with you. There's something wrong with the system, environment, or space that you've been trying to force yourself to assimilate to. We talked about this for the members as well, how it's similar to, somewhere in our life, we're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. These are two shapes that don't work together. They don't belong together. And so somewhere in your life over the next 4 months, you may be realizing or asking yourself or wondering to yourself, because again, remember, Cancer rules the home, okay? And so home can be something like your physical home, your actual body, your temple, your safe space, or even the idea of home, where we belong. So over the next 4 months, as Jupiter is retrograding in this space, we may be asking ourselves, do I belong here? Is this the right fit for me? Do I belong at this job, in this relationship, in this environment, in this space? Is this working for me? Is this in alignment with me? Is this something that I'm trying to force to work or force to happen? You're going to be a lot more sensitive to what is naturally resisting you and what you are naturally resisting. And it's going to get to a point where it starts to almost wear you down over time, because at a certain point, we just have to acknowledge, like, okay, this is something that I have to spend more effort and more time trying to keep together, because in its natural state, these two things do not work. And we see that with Jupiter retrograde squaring Chiron retrograde in Aries. This is a very inflammatory aspect because squares create stress, pressure, and restlessness. So we are agitated enough to make a move and hopefully relieve some of that tension. So this square says when Chiron, the wounded healer, is retrograde, he cannot channel his trauma into purpose like he normally does. Instead, he has to sit with his own wounds in Aries and study them and understand them and get to know them. The square says that this frustration that we have towards ourselves for seeing ourselves as maybe weak or broken or inadequate or inferior will eventually wear us down to the point that we stop trying to get rid of that pain, or we stop trying to fix whatever we consider broken within us, and we start asking it, hey, what can I learn from you? How can I work with you? This square starts out as an irritant, and it eventually becomes the greatest ally or tool for you over the next 4 months that Jupiter spins retrograde throughout the sign of Cancer. Okay, so this is it for the astrological portion. If you have not yet taken the time to pick your pile, then head down to the timestamps where you can use the Clairvoyant selection or the Clairaudient selection to pick your pile to see how your soul is trying to prepare you, what it's trying to prepare you for over the next 4 months that Jupiter is retrograde, and how you are preparing to be launched. Okay, so I will catch you guys at your pile. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are starting with your tarot cards to look into what your soul is preparing you for over the next 4 months that Jupiter is retrograde and how you are going to be launched forward. So getting started with your tarot cards, we have the Six of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and Justice. Okay, so your soul is preparing you to be recognized, pile 1, to be more easily noticeable, to receive more attention and recognition for your gifts, your talents, your purpose, your drive. I'm even hearing that your work ethic is going to be rewarded, or somebody's going to take notice of it, or you're going to be praised for that. And you guys will be noticed for your appearance as well, and even how you carry yourself. Jupiter may be transiting your 5th house or your 6th house, maybe your 10th, or maybe your 11th. It could be your 1st house as well, because appearance came through for you too. But yeah, you guys' soul is preparing you for a lot more attention. And this is why you guys may be or have gone through a strengthening phase, we'll call it, or chapter, where you may have come out of that feeling more mentally tough, in your element, more comfortable with who you are, or like you really know yourself, like you really accept yourself, like nothing can move you. And that was a very important chapter for you, because with more attention comes more attention. This isn't one type of attention, right? Just like people will come to praise you, there will be others drawn to you as well, with the Seven of Cups over here. And this is a type of reception where some of it can be considered good, and others of it is like, where did that come from? Why is that here? You know, you might be confused why some people are negative or haters, or even trying to copycat you and imitate you and what you are doing. Even destiny swapping, which I don't know. I personally don't believe in destiny swapping, but it doesn't stop people from trying, right? So it's like you've been carefully prepared this entire year of 2025, and you may have just realized this or will soon, like, oh, that's why I went through that lesson, to strengthen you for this sort of spotlight here, where you were not moved by people's praise of you. It doesn't gas you up, and people's negativity doesn't bring you down. It's a very detached observation where you don't internalize it, especially with Justice card right here. Justice here says that you will be and are very protected from people's agendas. Many or most people will want to get close to you because of the Six of Wands. Few will deserve that access, though, with the Justice card here. Trust your discernment and trust the history, especially if these are people that are already in your life. Did they support you before the recognition and the praise, or was it something different? Did they show up differently? Did they show up at all? So deal with them accordingly. And if you guys listen to the astrological portion of this video, I briefly discussed what this 4-month transit is bringing cosmically to us personally. So listen to that if you have not already. It's in the timestamps, because I talked about how over this Jupiter retrograde, many of us will be pushed into circumstances where we won't be available to those that have been like pretty much siphoning or using, taking advantage of, even abusing your gifts, your energy, your wisdom, the security that you provide, the safe space that you feel like, the fact that you feel like home. A lot of people just want to feed off of that, but they don't have anything to give, and they're not looking to offer you back anything in return. So, you know, that's coming up for you specifically. So some of you are definitely going through your Jupiter return as well. Also, pile one, check your lunar return chart, specifically for this November 2025, which is the month that Jupiter stations retrograde. Also look into as well, March of 2026. Which is the month that Jupiter stations direct. Look at that and analyze those two specific charts, because there's a lot of misconceptions coming to light for you, or they have been all of 2025, when it comes to how people and situations around you appreciate you. For those of you that had a painful realization that you are not as appreciated as you thought you were, or led yourself to believe with certain people and situations, again, that eye-opening moment was necessary to prepare you for this phase of life coming in. So now you have a really good idea and feel for the difference between true admiration and respect versus someone telling you what they want you to hear so they can take advantage of you or get access to the most sacred parts of you. Okay, so also to watch out for repeating fives, 555. You may see that a lot, even sixes. You may see that number quite a bit. All right, pile one, let's see what else your soul is preparing you for under this transit. Wow, we got Justice again. You guys see that? Justice right here coming out again. Oh, wow. Okay. And then we have here New Beginnings. Underneath the deck, we have Psychic Protection. This is what I was saying with your Justice card. Look at what was underneath. Psychic Protection is success. You guys' success is protected, okay? You don't have to worry about, I know some people struggle with like being seen or being praised. Six of Wands, getting a lot of attention because of the fact that attention can draw people's admiration. It can draw the evil eye, can draw all different types of, energies, right? The fact that success was underneath your Psychic Protection is saying that you guys' success, how you're going to be recognized, you are protected. Okay. You see this angel here shielding what's coming in or what's incoming. You guys are more than fine. It says, around me now, a shield of gold protecting me strong and bold. Gold is bright, right? This is solar sun energy. This is bright. This is recognition. This is illumination. This is attention. This is awareness. So for sure, you guys are going to be recognized. That's what your soul is preparing you for, is for a lot more attention. But this is why as well, what I talked about when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, that you may have went through a strengthening phase or a strengthening chapter where you guys may have had to embark on a lot of new beginnings, as well as too, this is something that is coming to you. This is another thing that you guys' soul is preparing you for, is a brand new beginning. And this new beginning is going to look like a lot of peace, a lot of equality, a lot of even karmic retribution on some levels. It's going to look like justice working for you in your benefit, like justice is behind you, like justice is here for you. It's assisting you. It's helping you. Okay. Especially with psychic protection right here. And the fact that now you have justice energy coming out twice in 2 different decks. This is very serious. So, just when it comes to you guys being taken care of, karma having your back in very serious ways, just know that this new beginning is safe. You are protected. Okay. Don't be worried about the attention coming to you. It's meant to come to you. A lot of you, if you have done the work that you need to do, or if you take the next 4 months to do the work that you need to do, this amount of attention is not going to bother you. Like what we talked about when I was just looking at your tarot cards, you're not going to be moved by people's praise and admiration. You're not going to be brought down by people's hate, as well, or people trying to imitate you or copy you. It's like, it's all just going to be energy to you. Okay. And a lot of it has to do with this protection that's around you. And that's the reason why it just kind of bounces off on you, and you're able to almost just observe all this attention coming in and not internalize it. You don't take it in, you don't ingest it. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else your soul is preparing you for over the next 4 months. Okay, we have here movement, and it says advancing to the next level, go forward despite challenges, seeing progress. Okay, so there's a lot of movement over the next 4 months for you guys as well. And that is what your soul is going to be really using as a tool to prepare you to, is movement, traction, things happening, things developing, right? And then we have here sacred alchemy underneath the deck. It says magical process of creation, creating a life of magic and union with the divine. So also too, you guys are going to get really good at alchemy. You're going to get really good. And this also kind of goes in line with the message that came through about you guys not internalizing the energies that people send to you, whether it's of praise, whether it's negative. This is you guys just taking people's energy and transmuting it, alchemizing it, turning it into something that is going to benefit you. So you guys are going to get really good at alchemy if you haven't already. This is something that another tool or instrument that your soul is going to be using to prepare you guys is movement and sacred alchemy. So you guys trust, if there's any sort of opportunities that you guys get to learn some sort of sacred practices, take up that opportunity over the next 4 months, because for sure, it is going to be something that like blows your mind spiritually, and it's going to provide you guys with a lot of life lessons that's going to come in handy with how your soul is preparing you. And then just a final message for you in terms of what your soul is preparing you for, pile 1. What flipped over for you, we have rite of passage. Underneath that is sacred vow, and then convergence. So let me read rite of passage for you. Okay, and rite of passage here says, I will find a way through. I see the tests as markers of my inner power and strength. Swimming towards the horizon, the obstacle is the doorway. It says a rite of passage often appears when we are in the midst of passing through the shadows, stepping over the threshold into the unknown. We are forced to move beyond fear, which is not always comfortable. The key is to find the light of potential within this challenge, to see how it feeds your strength and summons your brilliance. This is the message that came through when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards about a lot of you guys have just come out of a strengthening chapter. And it says life transformations help us soulfully evolve, much like the catapulting moments that trigger our growth beyond control. You guys are about to be growing beyond control, sacred alchemy, movement, new beginnings right here, justice as well, coming out twice, 6 of Wands. And then it says, we do not grow just once, nor do we heal just once. Over and over again, each rite of passage comes with its own milestones and lessons. Some may feel small while others appear insurmountable. These may guide us inward, deepening our connection to self. In other moments, they guide us outward into spaces and experiences that make our world even larger. Either way, we awaken to new wonder. If you are feeling lost, overwhelmed, or that a certain goal is too big, see this as an indication of the scope of your dreams. The currents always shift, and they are here to prepare you for this next vital stage. Your feelings are the navigation points that help you move with perseverance. This is not meant to be easy, and time is of the essence. You may be challenged beyond belief, but to endure this last test, trusting that you are more than capable, is to prepare you for anything. It's crazy that we're doing a reading on how your soul is trying to prepare you, and it literally mentions that right here. It says that you may be challenged beyond belief, but to endure this last test, trusting that you are more than capable, is to prepare you for anything. Anchor into the intention of your spirit and cross this next doorway into a new way of being. This is that new beginnings right here. It says perseverance, last stretch, rite of passage. You guys, this is like a final challenge that you guys are working through. This is why it came through that you guys may have went through a chapter that was challenging. It was meant to strengthen you. You may be coming out of that chapter right now. This is exactly what's going on. And this is why you guys are moving into a winning season right here with your 6 of Wands, your justice card, even movement, sacred alchemy, new beginnings, justice coming out twice. This was a rite of passage for you. So pay attention to any dreams that you have as well over the next 4 months that have to do with doorways, archways, you guys swimming, being in an ocean, nighttime, if you see the moon in your dreams as well. And then Sacred Vow was underneath that. And they have like dolphins here in their hands. So this could also be something that you guys end up seeing or noticing in your dreams is dolphins. And if so, just know that it could be a lot of times when animals come to us in our dream state, at least what I've noticed personally, is it's actually our spirit guides coming to us in the form of an animal that we may be able to understand. So, you know, what does a dolphin signify to you? Or if there's like a repeating animal that you always see, what does that animal make you feel like, especially in the dream? Pay attention to that because that could be a very important sacred message from one of you guys' spirit guides. Okay, so this is it for you, Pile 1. This is all that I'm saying. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with you guys' tarot cards. Then we'll be pulling some additional oracle messages to look into. What is your soul preparing you for? And how are you about to be launched into this next chapter? So starting off with your tarot cards, we have the Hermit in reverse. Then the Knight of Cups, also in reverse. And the Hierophant. Hierophant has been everywhere lately. It is insane. It's insane. Okay, so your soul, Pile 2, is preparing you guys to actually exit a long journey that you have been on with the Hermit in reverse right here. You guys may have been doing some intense therapy, introspection. Maybe you've been celibate, spending time alone and isolated. Maybe you've been on like a spiritual journey. Maybe you've gone through an ego death or like a dark night of the soul. Maybe you guys have like abstained from doing something, or is it abstinent? I always get them confused. You guys may have like actually cut something out of your life, out of your diet, out of your environment. You guys may have said like, you know, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to partake in certain activities. There's something that you guys have definitely separated from. Some of you actually kind of, I wouldn't be shocked if a big chunk of you guys were also drawn to Pile 1 or felt some sort of strong reaction to Pile 1. Because this almost feels like a continuation of Pile 1. But yeah, so some of you may have been going through some sort of like an ego death, a dark night of the soul. This journey could have started after losing a loved one. maybe even going through some sort of separation, breakup, divorce, or some sort of estrangement, even the loss of a pet with the Knight of Cups in reverse here. But this could have been a deeply impactful loss or separation or tower moment that sent you on this journey. Now you are being prepared to come out on the other side of that journey. This is very similar to like a rehabilitation phase, which might sound crazy, but after going through such an incredibly deep, transformative experience or process or healing chapter with Hermit in reverse right here, it is important to gradually and gently expose yourself to what you left behind with Hermit in reverse. Because in this card, he leaves his old life behind for understanding and enlightenment, something he knows that he cannot find in the world. So he isolated himself in the mountains to get closer to God, pretty much. And it's his way of trying to find wisdom and meaning after everything life has thrown at him. Hermit and the Knight of Cups showing up in reverse says that there is nothing left to find. Your heart had closed, or maybe you spent a lot of this journey emotionally unavailable. The Knight of Cups in reverse right here. You only had so much you could give while going through that journey. So now your soul is preparing you again to come out of this chapter with new beliefs, new traditions, new values, and standards with the Hierophant upright. Hierophant is order. It is our system, or it's our personal way of doing things. It's the structure that we follow to keep everything secure and solid. So for you, the Hierophant is coming out of, let's say, for example, you went through like a really tough breakup. You're coming out of that healing phase where maybe you weren't dating or even getting to know anyone. And maybe like the only person that you made time for was yourself. And in that time, you realize like what you want, what you need, and are looking for. And now you refuse to settle or negotiate those terms now. Hierophant is not a flexible character. It absolutely does not bargain and broker deals. Hierophant is the Pope in tarot. And these, I don't know what these are, clergymen, whatever they are, that are sitting at his feet are here serving him. This card is all about complete and total devotion when we see the Hierophant card. It's also ruled by Taurus, the fixed earth sign, one of the most, if not the most, stubborn sign in the zodiac. And so with the Hierophant being all about total devotion, that says, I have all of you or nothing at all. You commit all of yourself to me because I'm not interested in anything less. I'm not interested in anything else. It's a very my way or the highway type of card. Again, it's ruled by Taurus, for Christ's sake. So Hierophant has extremely high standards. And this is what many of you have come to or will come to realize and accept is, yeah, I do expect a lot, but that's because I give a lot. You pile two are only high maintenance to people that cannot emotionally, intellectually, or spiritually afford you. Okay. A lot of you may have realized the problem that you kept coming across before you went on this journey was that you kept either settling or allowing people to get away with a lot. And these connections may have not been reciprocal. You have learned the power and importance of boundaries. It's your first defense system that will alert you to who and what is around you that doesn't deserve to be there. When we don't have boundaries, it's like leaving our doors unlocked. And this is how your soul has been preparing you or is going to be preparing you. It was getting you ready for higher quality connections, people, opportunities, experiences, and paths that take life and time just as seriously as you take your life and your time. You're getting ready to go back out into whatever world you may have left behind, but with a laser sharp focus and determination to get what you came for with the Hierophant over here and nothing less. Also, specific message here, but you guys are about to be exposed to, I don't really know how to describe this, but it's like people with money. So like, let's say you run a business, right? Then you've got some like high rollers, like some high paying customers on their way to you. They'll be looking for high quality work, but they pay top dollar. They're willing to pay top dollar. And if this is you networking, you'll be meeting or around people that have a lot of connections in very high places. Hierophant here. Okay. Your soul has been preparing to launch you guys into very specific spaces and rooms that you couldn't walk into timid or insecure or dealing with any sort of imposter syndrome, so to speak. You've been prepared in a way where people's accolades, their accomplishments, their connections and decorations, they won't move you. They won't influence how you interact with them or how you do business with them or how you speak to them or how you carry yourself. They'll be able to sense your character pile too. And that's what's going to secure your position in these very elevated spaces. Okay. So here we go. Let's start pulling some oracle messages for you. Let's see how else your soul or what else your soul is preparing you for. Okay, we have here healing and then energy. Yeah, see, you guys have been like in a healing, some sort of a healing journey or a phase or a chapter. It says, candle flame burn this hour, bring to me your healing power. So this is you guys like your energy healing, your energy becoming whole or complete, for both energy and healing to come out for you. Energy here says, a light inside my fire, divine energy, fill me, make me shine. So you guys are going to be, your aura is going to be different. Your presence is going to be different. Even your appearance, your body, how you look, how you carry yourself is going to look and feel different, because you guys are coming out of this like period of kind of being to yourself a little bit, because you were going through this healing journey, this healing phase, like what we talked about. Again, some of you guys were definitely drawn to pile one for sure. But yeah, you guys' energy, it's like you're, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like you guys' energy is like renewed. That's what this feels like. This feels like you guys have, I want to describe it like a phoenix rising moment, but there's been nothing glorious about this journey for a lot of you. For a lot of you, it's like, this has not been a glorious journey. It hasn't been glamorous. It hasn't been, it's not something you would have chosen to gone through. For a lot of you drawn to this pile, but there is a sense of spiritual renewal here, a renewing of the mind, a renewing of your energy, where again, you guys are coming out of this feeling whole, feeling complete. You know how like when somebody goes through great loss or grief in their life, they start taking time even more serious, or they start becoming a lot more conscious of time, a lot more aware of it, where, you know, time almost becomes this main fixture in their life, where they're like, you know, I thought I had more time with this situation or with this person, for instance, and now it has almost influenced me to move a bit differently. That's what this feels like on an energetic sense for a lot of you, pile two, where because of what you've gone through, this healing journey, whatever situation, that tower moment that we talked about, and I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, the tower moment that sort of catapulted you into this healing journey, you're coming out of that on the other side, renewed, healed, I guess we could call it, feeling more whole, feeling more complete, feeling more steady, feeling more settled, feeling like you know exactly what you want as well. Okay. Also too, your soul, for energy and healing to come out for you, pile two, your soul may also be preparing you guys to get into some energy work, to become an energy healer. Or if you already were someone who was like a healer or an energy worker, then this was your soul saying, hey, we needed to kind of disappear a little bit, pull our energy back a little bit, because we needed to heal ourselves. It's like your soul recognize that you instead needed to pour your healing energy and your healing practices into yourself, into your own journey, because you needed all of your energy. If you guys didn't listen to the astrological portion of this video, definitely check that out. It's in the timestamps. It'll take you right to the astrological portion where I briefly discuss what this Jupiter retrograde transit is going to be doing for us personally over the next 4 months. Because I did talk about a little bit there, or it came up there, that Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, it wants us to pull back. It wants us to reserve, or preserve, I should say, our healing powers and parts of our energy that is most sacred to us, because we need to use it for ourselves. We need to have our energy reservoirs to ourselves right now. So that could be something as well that your soul has been preparing you for, is becoming a energy healer or an energy worker. So if you guys do Reiki, if you do, tarot readings, if you guys are in like therapy or in the medicinal industry somehow, some way, where, even if like, let's just say like you do like makeup, right? But like, so many of your clients come to you and they're just talking to you about their problems. Like, that is you showing up as a healer. I've always said that, like, healing doesn't look just like one thing. It doesn't look like being an oracle reader. It doesn't look like, being a psychic medium. It can look like you being an electrician. It can look like you being, a scientist. Like, the profession doesn't matter, but what people get just by being around you and being within your energy is the soul's work there. Okay. And that's what your soul was saying. Like, we need to sort of hold that back for now. So yeah, you guys may be about to like kind of like reemerge. You guys may even be coming off of some sort of leave. You may have taken some leave from work as well. Yeah, it's like your soul is kind of preparing you guys to get back out there somehow, to start giving again or healing again, because your energy is just naturally healing, for energy and healing to come out. Okay. And yeah, we have the Hierophant here too. You may not realize like how many people like not serve you or want to serve you, but they look to you, they look for you, they almost like need your energy in a sense when it comes to healing. Okay, it's very Pisces sort of energy here, where it's like you just naturally feel healing, or Virgo energy, I should say too. Okay, let's see what else your soul is preparing you for, pile 2. Oh, we had 2 cards flip over. Okay, so we have here drawing closer. We also have the feminine. Okay, so there could be an energy coming closer to you guys. And then underneath the deck, we have here walking away. You guys see that? You guys see this? Walking away, withdrawing from a situation or person, leaving the past behind, learning to let go. This is what I've been talking about your entire reading, that you guys literally withdrew. You went into like your own cave of healing. You guys went into your own, that's why I said like the best way I could describe this is sort of like a phoenix rising moment, or like an ego death, but it has not been glamorous. It hasn't been glorious work. This isn't something that it's like you would have wanted to go through. It's been a difficult journey for a lot of you, but this is what you guys retreated. You had to retreat into your own self, into your own gifts, into your own cocoon almost energetically, so you could be renewed. Also, though, what we have here is the feminine. A woman will play a role, your feminine side or feminine energy. You guys may have gotten a lot more closer to your feminine energy, or this is what your soul's preparing you for, because now I'm remembering what I said when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, is that with your Knight of Cups in reverse right here, a lot of you guys were not emotionally available when you were going through your own healing journey. When you had kind of isolated or withdrew or cocooned yourself, you guys weren't emotionally available, right? Because you couldn't give to anyone else. You needed to just give to yourself and focus on yourself for a certain amount of time. So now you guys are getting back in touch with your feminine side. You may be getting back in touch with your own sensuality. You may be getting back in touch with being more emotionally open, more emotionally accessible, more emotionally vulnerable, more emotionally available, where it's like, okay, now I'm able to kind of open up. Now I'm able to receive other people. Now my energy is more receptive, where before it was completely closed off. Okay. And then we have drawing closer. It says something is around the corner, attracting the right things, bringing closer together. So this is exactly how you guys have emerged out of your own kind of healing cocoon here, is when you walked away and isolated, got to yourself, you guys were really in the womb of your own feminine energy. Feminine energy is highly healing, high key nourishing. And you guys needed to do that to take care of yourself. And now that you are coming out of that space, this is what is drawing closer. Okay. So there's some sort of destined, interaction or meeting, something that is meant to happen for you guys with this drawing closer card right here. It could have something to do with a feminine energy, somebody that has feminine energy. It doesn't mean that it necessarily or literally has to be a woman. It could be a man. It could be anybody that just has a feminine presence to them, where maybe they're very objective. Maybe they're very open-minded. Maybe they're very patient. Maybe they're very affectionate. Maybe they're very sensitive, very intuitive, very emotional, right? And this is what is coming into your life. It could even as well be not just one person. It could be like a group of people. Like I said, with your Hierophant here, it's like there's people, you guys would be shocked, but there's people that really almost depend on you in a healing way. And you may not notice it. They might not even notice it, but people look for you when they can't get in contact with you. They look for you when you kind of take these sabbaticals and you kind of go away and get to yourself. And you guys may do this routinely as well. I know I've been talking about throughout your whole reading that it's like you guys are kind of coming out of this healing cocoon. You guys may routinely go into your own space where you just isolate and you get away. And you do that regularly because you need to recharge. You need to kind of get your own energy settled or get your own mindset together. But just know that you guys could be attracting a feminine presence, or a group of people that are feminine in nature. Maybe you guys want to only work with women or feminine energy even. But just know for sure, you guys are drawing something closer. This is also saying for me too, with drawing closer in the feminine here, that you guys are even attracting something. There's something around the corner that you guys have been attracting. You've been pulling it in, and you guys also needed this time to prepare for what you're drawing in, for what you're bringing in. It says bringing closer together. So this could be another person specifically, or just whatever it is that you guys have been trying to manifest. Especially for those of you that have been wanting to share your gifts, maybe you've been trying to manifest more opportunities to share your gifts, to share your talents, because you may feel like it's your destiny, it's your purpose, whatever your gifts or your talents may be. Okay. That is something that you guys are also drawing closer. So let's grab a final message for you, pile 2. About what your soul is preparing you for. How are you preparing to be launched? We have here Akashic Waters underneath the deck. And then we have Astral Waters. So we've got Astral Waters and then Akashic Waters. That's interesting. Over the next 4 months, you guys may have some experiences where you astral project. And the lucid dreams that you may experience over the next 4 months, or like if you go into a really deep meditation session and you kind of feel your spirit exploring or your consciousness exploring something, try to focus on your Akashic records. Okay. I'm actually going to pull a card here from that deck, from the Akashic Records deck that I have too, since that came up for you. But let me read Astral Waters for you. Astral Waters says, Goddess energy, sacred temple, reclaiming the divine feminine. And you guys have the feminine coming out for you. Wow. It says, I am expansive. I am holy. I am blooming into my essence. Exactly. This is why you guys do these like regular sabbaticals where you just get away from people, you isolate. But it says, nurturance can be found within your own inner waters and the beautiful chambers of your heart. This is a place of soulful worship, happiness, creation, laughter, grace, and intuitive power that can also be shared. It strengthens and supports your sense of self and helps ground you into your body. You are worthy of sweet, tender reverence. It says, as a holy vessel, you are an expression of beauty and spirit in human form. Many of us have been led to believe that our sexuality is to be hidden or repressed, and historically, the divine feminine has been vilified and controlled. But as humans, love is the deepest essence of who we are, and our sensuality is but one bridge to our fullest embodiment. That's interesting because I mentioned that you guys weren't, emotionally available when you were going through your healing journey. And now that you are starting to emerge out of that journey, you may be reconnecting to the feminine, your sensuality, connections, relationships, people, things like that. And so it actually mentions that too with the divine feminines. And it says, this card wants you to witness the miracle of your sensuality, to lead with beauty and grace in your own unique way and reconnect with your absolute bliss, to soften into your own self-devotion. What do we talk about the Hierophant? The Hierophant is you guys coming out of this healing journey and saying, I want complete and total devotion. I refuse to accept anything less or anything else. And it literally says that right here, to soften into your own self-devotion. And it says to unfold into the flowering of your creative garden. Allow this magic to flow effortlessly into everything that you do and express like a river of nourishment. If you have felt blockages or stagnant waters preventing this release, it is time to open the floodgates and let go of the internalized pressures. And the question here for you says, how can I nurture the sacred temple of my vessel? Yeah. One way that you guys can do that is by doing exactly what you've been doing, focusing on your healing journey that's been renewing you, because you guys have needed that. I also want to read Akashic Waters for you. It says, timeless wisdom, past life recollection, activating dormant magic. It says, I see beyond this earthly plane. I am multidimensional. I am open to new waves of information. I'm always able to tune into my higher self. This is another reason why you guys had to go into your own sort of isolation phase, was to really, really, really get deeply connected connected, intimately connected to your higher self. It says we rarely see with just our eyes. As energetic beings, our deeper sensitivities may ignite new memories or dormant abilities within us. We are conduits, and this is your energy and healing right here. It says we are conduits for many frequencies and reflectors of the unseen. As intuitive creatures, we may also discern the language of our spirit through symbols, dreams, and the living archetypes that we encounter. Perhaps there are patterns that call out to you now. It says, what can I learn from my own Akashic records at this time? You're being invited to explore the ever-evolving wisdom of your own Akashic records, to open your mind to new possibilities through exploring the many pages of your soul book. To do this, you may begin with setting an intention for how you would like to dive in. Take note of any questions that you may have. From here, devote some quiet time where you may enter a receptive state. Meditation and deep relaxation are wonderful practices for accessing the Akasha. As you carve out time for exploring your own records, the information that surfaces may take on different forms. Perhaps you will receive sensory messages, blooming symbols, or even visuals of certain locations. It can be helpful to keep a journal to record your findings. Navigating through the Akashic records is similar to interpreting dreams, only you are awake during this process. Don't forget to have fun as you turn your gaze inward and look out for signs and synchronicities along the way. And just pulling an Akashic record oracle message for you since it came up. Let's see what we get for you, pile 2. All right. We have here soar. It says you're being asked to stop dimming your own light, period. It is time for you to come out of the shadows and let your authentic self soar. Fly high, dear one. It's time for you guys to come out of the shadows. It's time for you to come out of your cocoon. It's time for you to come out of your healing place when it feels right for you, because it's going to be a different timeline for each of you, right? But you guys are about to soar, okay? This is what you guys have been prepared for. Underneath the deck here, we have deception. It's funny because this is confirmation of what we talked about when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, that now you guys are aware of how important boundaries are, because they're your first line of defense against deceiving energies. And deception here says underneath the deck, you're not seeing the entire picture of a person or situation. It may be purposely withheld from you, or you may be choosing to look the other way or betray yourself in some way. It is time to gain clarity. And we have here the walking away card, and Knight of Cups in reverse, Hermit in reverse right here. So trust wherever it is that you guys feel like, okay, things are not adding up. Trust your discernment right now. It's really, really important, because it's going to help you see clearly what is not right for you. Okay, and pile 2, this is it. This is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with you guys' tarot cards, and then we'll be pulling some additional oracle messages to look into what your soul is preparing you for and how you are about to be launched into this next chapter. Okay, so getting started, we have here the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, pile 3. So this transit is going to help you guys avoid a lot of dead ends, empty promises, and unnecessary consequences with your King of Wands in reverse and your Five of Pentacles right here. Because this retrograde transit, your soul is preparing you, almost softening you on one end, with specifically the King of Wands in reverse, to ask for help, to stop showing up as either Superman or Superwoman or someone that can do it all. It's been easing you into being more receptive to higher guidance with the Queen of Swords right here. Five of Pentacles on the surface talks about financial difficulty, but when we go a little deeper, you will see two people in desperate need of shelter from a storm, and they're literally running right past a church. Sorry, I hit my mic. They're literally running right past a church, somewhere that would take them in, no questions asked, and give them everything that they need and not look for anything in return. Essentially, this card talks about overlooking the very thing that has been sent to you as an answer to your prayers. So you guys' discernment is being refined and sharpened because you are preparing to be launched out of these Five of Pentacles situations, but you have to change your method of approach with the King of Wands in reverse right here. You cannot run into Five of Pentacles situations or scarcity in your life and treat it like a battle. These Five of Pentacles situations in your life where you've been waiting for a prayer or a miracle or help and an end to scarcity is something that you will have to discern your way out of, not fight it. So this isn't about doing more, but listening to and trusting your own inner knowing. Your claircognizance is an instrument that your soul has been activating and teaching you how to use, because what is ahead for you, pile 3, is a very restrictive path, we'll call it, whose feedback is going to come through instantly. And what I mean by that is, during this retrograde transit, the next 4 months, you will receive very clear answers when it comes to a very loud yes or a very firm no with this Five of Pentacles right here. There will be no room for interpretation with the King of Wands in reverse. This tells me that a lot of you in this pile may feel like you've wasted a lot of time, energy, or money, or feel like you've invested a lot in the wrong direction, the wrong person, the wrong opportunities, the wrong experiences, the wrong situations. And so this retrograde period or transit is preparing you to almost predict what's going to happen with this option versus that one. And you're going to be able to predict with an insane amount of accuracy with your Queen of Swords right here. This is what I'm saying. Your soul has been preparing you. It's been slowly refining your claircognizant abilities. A lot of you in this pile, if you were intuitively drawn to this pile, you are naturally claircognizant. Claircognizance just stands for clear knowing. So it's just a sense of like, I just know that this is the right thing for me. I just know that this is the answer. I just know that this is the direction. I just know that this is a yes. I just know that this is a no. So you guys are going to have a strong sense of knowing, which is why this retrograde period over the next 4 months will speak to you so clearly. This is, for instance, you wondering where you should move next. And when you go like tour a new spot, let's say everything looks great, but all of a sudden a tenant walks in and a huge argument breaks out between them and the property manager. And it just so happened right when you were touring the place. It's the biggest sign that no, this is not the place for me. Meanwhile, the place that's meant for you, maybe you love it, but there is a wait list. So you put it off until they call you and they say, hey, we don't know what happened. We don't know how. But you know, all of a sudden there's availability on your move date and it's in your price range. And it's a very clear yes with the Queen of Swords right here. Now, Queen of Swords is not a very warm sort of energy, right? So these very firm no's, these very loud yeses are going to come through to you guys in a very, matter of fact way. It's not going to always be what you want to hear, right? With the Queen of Swords, she's not as concerned about sensitivity. She's not as concerned about sensitivity. Now, she is a diplomat. She is very aware of her delivery. She's not someone that is rude, especially when she's upright. But she is someone that speaks with a directness where, again, there is no room for interpretation. This is why your King of Wands has showed up in reverse. Your soul has been preparing you guys. That's why I called it a restrictive path, where it's like, you're going to know immediately, like, this is a yes, that is a no. You're not going to be necessarily allowed to wander off the path that is meant for you, because you're going to know instantly. You're going to be instantly met with consequences when it's a no. And you're going to be instantly met with rewards and with doors just easily opening, and effortlessness when it's a loud yes for you. And so the next 4 months, you guys, there's going to be a lot of synchronicities for you. It's easy to reduce the Queen of Swords to a coincidence, but it's divine orchestration at play that she is aware of. And as logical as she is, she knows what she is looking at. And you guys won't be able to talk yourself out of the clarity and loud answers happening right in front of you, because again, you guys are being prepared to avoid pitfalls and accept the assistance sent to you by the divine. There are storms that you won't have to endure outside in the cold if you listen to how you're being guided. Like we talked about with your Five of Pentacles, this blizzard is happening no matter what with them, but they don't have to endure it out in the freezing cold. They can wait for it to pass in the warmth with food and company inside of that church, as long as they realize and accept the help that's right in front of them. So trust your own guidance, and not only will you guys be able to avoid these Five of Pentacles storms, but you will relieve yourself of where you've been suffering with certain Five of Pentacles situations in your life, especially when it comes to work, finances, career, anything like that, because the Pentacles, it is associated with finances and work. So if that's somewhere that you've been suffering or dealing with a lot of disappointment, dealing with a lot of restrictions, a lot of limitations, feeling like your back is against the wall, again, this is not about doing more, working more, breaking yourself down to try and work your way out of this Five of Pentacles. You have to be guided out of this with the Queen of Swords right here, okay? So let's say that this Five of Pentacles is talking about you guys being in a rough place financially. Then this is you consulting, asking higher guidance. Hey, how do I change this financial circumstance? And again, the answer that you get is going to be very direct, very clear, very to the point. And the guidance here may be to apply to a job that is in a whole different state. And you're like, the answer is totally inconvenient. But again, it's going to be the guidance that you need to know. It's going to be the guidance that you need to hear in order to get you out of and relieve you from this Five of Pentacles situation. Okay, and let's see what else your soul is preparing you for. Pile 3. We have your imagination. I don't know what this was that just kind of flipped. We have trust, and then we have success. Okay. With trust, it wanted to flip over and it didn't. And I find that to be really interesting because I think a lot of you may be struggling to trust that you're going to get out of a Five of Pentacles situation in your life, that the scarcity that may be in your life is going to be healed or can be healed, or that you can be relieved of it. You guys' soul has been preparing you to get launched into a new chapter where it's going to take a lot of trust. It's going to take a lot of faith in believing in the unknown and in spirit and in that higher guidance. This is why your claircognizant abilities have been so activated, is because this is your soul's way of trying to get you accustomed or familiar with your inner voice, your higher guidance, your intuition. So you're being led and guided properly. Okay. So with trust and imagination, I find that really interesting that both of these are here, because you guys may struggle to trust your higher guidance or your intuition because you may sometimes doubt it and just think like, oh, that's just in my head. That's just, my imagination. And it's funny because I kept talking about you guys' claircognizant abilities, which is about clear knowing, right? So it's like when you guys get an immediate answer in your head about something, you may doubt it. You may wonder like, was that, me? Was that my intuition? Or was that just my imagination? It's really important for you guys to continue to build the trust between you and your higher self. So you're not just thinking that it's your imagination. Now, also too, here with imagination coming out, this is about you guys trusting in the ideas that's coming to you as well. You guys' ideas may be very fertile. It may be producing a lot of really good ideas about work or different projects that you can get into, or, certain opportunities maybe. And so you guys' imagination during this Jupiter retrograde transit, it may be really, really active. And it's going to be so important to trust the ideas, the creativity that you guys are producing, the ideas that come to you, that download to your higher mind, to your crown chakra, because guess what? It's going to lead you to success. You guys are going to successfully come out of a Five of Pentacles situation as long as you what? Trust yourself and trust your own guidance. You have to trust this higher guidance. It's what I've been saying your whole reading when I was just looking at you guys' tarot cards, and look at it being confirmed with your oracle messages here. Okay. So it's really, really important for you guys to trust your higher guidance, to trust the ideas that's coming through, because they're all going to lead you to success. I just want to pull a finance and career card for you, pile 3, to see what comes through with what your soul is preparing you for. So let's see what we get. Okay, we have here Gaia, and then we also have here next level, be a boss. That could be what the inconvenient way that you guys are about to be guided is when it comes to some of you guys. You may almost want to like settle into a certain position when it comes to work, when you guys are meant to be elevated, or maybe you're meant to be in a managerial position. Maybe you're meant to be a boss. Maybe you're meant to make executive decisions. Maybe there's things that like you guys are meant to do at a higher level that for you, it may feel inconvenient. It may feel like, I don't know how to get there. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know who to ask. It's like, again, you guys have to follow this higher guidance because you're being led to the next level. But we have here Gaia that says spend time with nature to be healed, soothed, and regroup. Protecting the planet, herbalism, livestock, or working with nature could be for you. The universe is working with you. The universe is working with you, Believe in its subtle magnetism to guide you. What have I been saying your whole reading? You have to trust in this higher guidance, pile 3. It says right here, the universe is working with you. Believe in its subtle magnetism to guide you. You guys have to trust it. You guys have to trust that your spirit, your higher guidance in the universe is going to lead you to success, that it's going to lead you with the Queen of Swords out of these Five of Pentacles situations, okay? And then we have your next level, and it says you're either about to take your finances to the next level or it's time that you do. If your finances haven't improved yet, you can be certain that they will soon. This is this Five of Pentacles being fixed for you. There's a chance of something extra in the air, okay? You guys will successfully come out of this Five of Pentacles situation. It may be difficult to believe, especially when you're in the middle of a Five of Pentacles situation. Look, you guys. Oh my God. Look at what's underneath next level. Look at what's underneath next level. Trust. I got goosebumps. Look at what's underneath next level. Trust coming out again in in a whole different deck. Trust coming out again. What have we been talking about your whole reading? I'm gonna read trust for you, and I'm actually gonna leave it out for you because you guys need to trust that you're on your way to the next level. You guys need to trust that you're meant to be elevated in some way professionally or career-wise and financially. You guys have to trust that you are going to be successfully led out of this Five of Pentacles situation. Okay? And there's also going to be financial security with the Gaia card coming out for you as well. Trust here says the universe is asking you to trust that your needs will be met. There is a spiritual reason why you are experiencing this cycle. Okay? Five of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. This is a good time to connect with your spirit guides because you need to be what? I'm going to say it again. You need to be guided. You need to be led by higher guidance. Okay? Somebody here in this pile, maybe a lot of you needed to keep hearing the same message over and over and over again. I might sound like a broken record, but you guys needed to hear this message because, some people really struggle to believe that a Five of Pentacles storm isn't forever because it can feel like forever when you're in the middle of it. It's rough. It's hard. It's stressful, but you guys will be led out of it. Okay. That's guaranteed. Let's get another oracle message here. What is your soul preparing you for, pile 3? Oh, wow. Okay, we've got here wish come true. Oh my God. Foundation was underneath that, and then freedom is underneath the deck. Look at this. This is your wish come true. A desire attained after a long time. Getting what you wish for. Look at the final message. Believe in the impossible. It keeps coming through. That's because some of you in this pile, you have you're really struggling to trust that you're going to come out of a Five of Pentacles situation, or that you're going to be leaving scarcity in the past. Like it is going to be like a bad dream or a bad memory that gets left behind in the past. You will, okay? This is a wish come true. Trust that it's going to happen. We have your foundation. Focus on foundational skills, build a solid foundation, make lasting changes. This is what I was saying with your Gaia card. These financial changes that's about to come through, where you guys are about to be lifted, relieved, and taken out of this Five of Pentacles scarcity situation. You guys are also going to be led into financial security. So it's not just like this is going to be this quick relief where it's like, oh my God, okay, I got out of this situation. And then, within a month or two, you're back in a Five of Pentacles storm. No, this is going to be something that is secure for you. Okay. This is going to be the foundation. Okay. Just trust that, this financial change where you guys are elevated is going to become your new baseline, your new foundation, your new normal. In other words, freedom underneath the decks has power to do what you want. Celebrating independence. Nothing can stop you. You guys are about to be free of this Five of Pentacles cycle. Okay. Just trust it. And then a final message for you, pile 3. Oh, we have something flip over. We have clear waters, regeneration underneath the deck. So 1 second. Clear waters here says clarity. This is what we talked about, your Queen of Swords. This is very clear-cut answers coming through. It says clarity, soulful inventory, less is more, clear communication. You guys' reading could not be more direct and to the point. It literally keeps saying the same thing over and over. It says, I speak with clarity and truth. I'm able to refine my inner spaces in order to support my inner world. And it says, this card is here to help you take inventory of any energetic congestion that is occurring in your life. We can each take care of our inner energetic hygiene, but there is also value in clearing out the debris of our outer world within our environments as well as our interactions. And it says, this key may also point to how we refine our words and communication with integrity and truth rather than unclear passiveness. And the question here says, where does my life need some additional clearing or decluttering? Clear Waters comes to you now as a sacred invitation to see how your environment is either adding to or depleting your life force. And you guys do have King of Wands in reverse right here. And Wands is life force energy. It's prana. And it says here, your well-being is directly affected by what you allow into your personal space. This includes the connections that populate your life and the objects that fill your home. Take a moment to see if there's any disorganization or clutter that needs some attention. Use this as an opportunity to purge that which is not needed or joyful. You may find that in order to declutter your life, you must first let go of certain relationships, items, or patterns that you've been holding on to that haven't been serving you. This is what I was saying about there not being any sort of convenient answers, okay? The answers that you guys are going to start getting or have been getting as your soul has been preparing you are going to be the types of answers that feel like an inconvenience. It feels like you have to go out of your way. It feels like you have to, do something that's uncomfortable or break out of your comfort zone or do something that breaks a cycle or gets you out of a pattern or disrupts energy or your life in some way. It is going to kind of challenge you because it's trying to push you, especially out of these Five of Pentacles sort of cycles that have been draining you with your King of Wands in reverse. And it says, use your words with authenticity and truth when you need something next time and refine your focus. New space activates new doorways. And from here, expect your confidence to shine into your surroundings. And pile 3, this is it. This is all that I'm seeing for you guys. You also have regeneration underneath the deck right here. But yeah, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. You guys, thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.